All right. Well, obviously, good win up at Tech, and now we're moving forward to Lipscomb. Um, they've got good personnel. 41, their transfer from Valpo. He was the newcomer of the week again this week. Second time he's been that. He had 35 in their game on Sunday. Shoots 60% from three almost. Very, very good player. They're a very, very good offensive team. Defensively, they mix their defenses up. So they'll play some zone. They'll play some man. They've played a little bit more zone in their bye games, and so they're extremely well coached. Lenny Acuff's one of the best coaches in the country. He one of the best offensive coaches, one of the best basketball coaches, but particularly on the offensive end with this cutting and how they flow seamlessly from their secondary and transition into their two guard stuff. So their offense is kind of a mixture of what we saw against Georgia Tech and what we guarded against Belmont. So a little bit of the two guard Princeton type stuff, and then also some 4-around-1 where they try to pound it in the paint. So they do a great job shooting the ball. They shoot the ball really well from three. They've obviously had a big win at Dayton earlier this year. They've, so they're a very capable ball club. Their best player's been out the last couple games. That's why they haven't been playing as well. I don't suspect he'll be back tomorrow. It sounds like he's going to be back in the middle of January or towards the middle of January. But they've still got a tremendous team, and they're extremely well coached.
Did that game on Saturday just kind of have like an SEC feel? I mean, it really looked like that was two really good programs kind of going at each other. Is that kind of the physicality you guys are going to be expecting and starting next week?
Yeah, I mean it was a physical game on Saturday. Our guys were pretty beat up. We went really light yesterday in practice. Actually, we were off Sunday, and we went really light yesterday. A couple of the guys came to me before and said, "Hey, our bodies are a little banged up." So I first time in a long time I've done that where I just I took their advice, and we went. We still got our work in, still got done what we needed to get done, but we didn't pound against each other like we typically have. And so it was a physical game, and it was a high level game, high level atmosphere, so it was a lot of fun.
I guess both your offensive and defensive rebounding you were pretty pleased with, I would
It was
imagine,
improved. It was
after you looked.
improved. We went from like 126 to 94 in defensive rebounding. Our offensive rebounding is getting better. Our offensive rebounding saved us a little bit in the first half, but of course, when you miss as many shots as we do, you got plenty of opportunities to go get the ball. I think we're improving in those areas, but we're still not where we need to be or want to be, for the season.
Coach, the defensive pressure Saturday, you talking about wearing them down, draining their legs. Has that been something that's come with this new intensity, or is that just something that you've purposely implemented?
I mean, that's just a byproduct of how we play. It's just a byproduct of the style of play is that you can, just wear people down and you get to their legs. And I think I said it last night on the radio show, but we do play 8 guys, but just because you play 8 guys doesn't mean you have depth. It's the key is that we're playing the guys. We play basically 7 guys, 22 to 28 minutes. We don't have. Kent was joking with me. He's like, usually you look at the top 15 in minutes in the SEC. We've got 1, 3, 4, and 9. Because our 4 guys are all playing 32 plus minutes. But we don't have that this year. We've got not to say we're not going to creep up there some in conference play in some games, but we don't have that this year. We've got good balance with those 8-man rotations, and I think that allows us to wear teams down and get to their legs as we get to the second half, and particularly as we get to those last 6 minutes of the game.
Are you concerned about your shooting? I mean, you're taking good shots. Are you concerned like nothing's going in like for?
Yeah, certainly I'm concerned. I'm not. There's different levels of there's different levels to things. I'm not like panicked about it, but I'm certainly front of mind along with our starts and some things like that. So yeah, it's a concern.
Also, Lipscomb was kind of like your Nashville tour. You already did Belmont. Let's talk about Nashville as a basketball town. You live there. I mean, they have all these really great basketball teams in one city.
Well, yeah, Belmont and Lipscomb are separated by about 2 miles. I think they call it the battle for the boulevard when they play. They were both NAIA powers. They both climbed to Division One. They've both got Belmont's got the Curb Event Center. Lipscomb's got Allen Arena. They've both built beautiful facilities. So I used to go to basketball camp at Lipscomb when I was growing up. Don Meyer had like the best basketball camps in the country. I still got my notebook from like camp. You had to take notes and do all sorts of stuff, and so it's a big time. The high school I went to, he's actually now the head basketball coach at the high school I went to, John Pierce. He's the all-time leading scorer at Lipscomb. He's the all-time leading scorer in He was the all-time leading scorer in college basketball, and he played for Don Meyer. And he's the head coach at my high school now. But Lipscomb's great. Belmont's obviously been really good. They've both made the move to Division One and have kind of found their footing in Division One. You got Vanderbilt right there. Belmont's campus and Vanderbilt's campus basically back up to each other, and Lipscomb's campus is on the other side of 21st Avenue, kind of going back towards Midtown. So it's a good basketball area.
Growing up, I don't know if you want to be a coach or not, but with Don Meyer and Rick Bird in the same town, how much did you pick up?
We went to team camp all the time at Belmont when I was coming up, and I told you I went to basketball camp at Lipscomb. They had like the best basketball camps in the country. There were kids from all over the country there. They had tremendous camps. So it was a good experience.
Well, you've seen this team, or not this team, but your program have win streaks. I think in 2019-2020 season, you had an 8-game win streak, but a lot of them were ugly wins, and now you're having these gritty, come from behind second half wins. What's the difference besides just talent that's showing this year compared to years past?
Well, anytime you go on an elongated win streak, you're gonna have to have some breaks. You're gonna have some things go your way, but you've got a good team. You got to beat other very, very good teams. I tell our kids this all the time, and every night if you watch, and nobody understands, like, it is hard to win any Division I game. Any Division I basketball game is hard to win. Very difficult to win. Like, you go look at scores every night. You go look at everything that goes on every night. Like, they're extremely, extremely challenging to win. And so, to go on a long win streak just shows that your guys are consistent, and that they put the right things in every day, that they prepare the right way. They prepare the right way every day, which is not easy to do because every game's a different challenge. This game's a different challenge, just in terms of what we're going to have to guard. We're going to have to guard, now luckily we've played a couple teams that run some similar actions to them, but you've got to move past the Louisiana Tech game quick and then turn the page and get ready to guard what they do. We got to prepare for their zone defense. Louisiana Tech never played zone, so we hadn't worked against zone since we prepared for Northwestern State. Well, Northwestern State had been playing zone, but they didn't play any zone in our game. So we've got to dust off some of our zone stuff. We've got to work on our angles on our ball screens and work on our ball screen rescreens with them going under. So you just have to flip stuff very, very quickly, which is not easy to do, and it's a credit to our guys. How quickly they've been able to flip things and stay consistent.
Man, I'm going to piggyback off the adjustment because I remember you gave a very emphatic answer when y'all beat Texas 2 years ago, and it was another blown lead kind of situation. But how does it feel to have this team? I don't know if you want to label it second half team, but
yeah, we got to be a full game team because we're not going to be able to keep pulling these escape jobs. We're not going to be able to keep winning. Just by getting down 13, 15 points and just relying on coming back. That's just not going to cut it. So we've got to certainly improve in that and not put ourselves in those situations because you're walking on a high wire and you're eventually going to fall off.
What did you like about Darius's offensive game on Saturday? It seemed like he was letting things come to him a little bit more.
I thought Darius played great Saturday. He's sitting back here. I was just talking to him in the film room, but 18 rebounds. Told him if we averaged 18 rebounds the rest of the year, we'd be in business. But I thought he did a great job. He got some easy baskets around the rim. He got some putbacks. He had a nice post move around the rim. He hit a 3 for us in there. But I thought his shots were good. I think his shot selection's been really good. Deron's point, I think he's coming back around. I could sense it today in our shooting groups. We've already done shooting groups this morning and morning vitamins for teamwork. But I can sense he's getting closer and getting confident. I think he's gonna shoot it really, really well. But I thought he let the game come to him. I thought he was able to kind of dig some rebounds out that got him going, and he didn't let his lack of making shots affect everything else that was going on, which can happen a lot. But I think that shows how much he's matured, how much he's getting, how much he's growing as a player. So I was very, very proud of him on Saturday.
Coach, being nationally ranked and continuing to move up towards the top 15, is there enjoying the national recognition, but then at the same time it doesn't mean much in December? And
We haven't talked one time about our national ranking. In fact, who told me last night? Somebody said something last night. I didn't even know we were ranked. I didn't even know we'd moved up until late last night. Somebody said something to me last night at the radio show. And I think that was the first time I knew we had moved up. So we haven't talked one thing to our kids about the ranking. Nothing changes just because they put a number beside your name. You're still the same team. If you have a number, you don't have a number. Like you're still the same. You're still the same group. So we haven't really discussed that. I mean, it's great for the fans. It's great for recognition. At least now, when our games come on, the score scrolls across the bottom a little bit quicker, I guess. But we haven't spent any time on that.
This is your last game for SEC. You got a week. How are you going to manage? How do y'all manage? Do the guys go away for a little bit?
Well, some of them are staying here. Some of them are going home. I obviously give them the option to go home. I've never been big on keeping guys over the holiday break. I think it's an opportunity for everybody to go home and recharge a little bit. I'd say there's 5 of them, I think, that are staying, and the rest of them are pretty much going home. Or some of them's families are coming here, and they're going to spend it here. So. They're free to leave after the game tomorrow. Now, most of them can't get flights tomorrow night, so most of them are leaving early in the morning on Thursday, and then we'll be back midday on the 26th, and we'll practice 26, 27, and fly to Auburn on the 28th. That's our plan.
Coach, with Tari, I'm curious to, like, at that those last 5 or 6 minutes, 10 of the last 12 points. When he was at Cincinnati, did you guys see that, and how meticulously did you scout him, either in the portal?
Well, we scouted him very meticulously in the portal. I mean, quite frankly, no, you couldn't have seen that at Cincinnati because he didn't do that. He just had a different. There's no knock on anything. He just had a different role, different responsibilities. He was put in different situations. He was a 5-man playing around the basket a vast majority of the time. He just ball screened and rolled, and we ask him to do some of that stuff, but we play him on the perimeter more. We put him in some space. We allow him to do some different things. So, no, you couldn't have seen that. Now, what you could see is he's got a trait where he's a winner. Like there's a trait like he won in high school. Paying just at all the camps and like you knew that there was an innate something about him that just wins. Wherever he goes, like he lifts people up and the team wins. And so, you could tell that, but you didn't. I mean, you never knew. You never know how somebody's going to react in crunch time until you put him in those situations, and he wasn't in a lot of those situations.
When you were shopping for,
But he's good at it.
when you were shopping for a point guard in the portal, what were in your mind, your requirements, and how has X filled that?
I mean, when we were looking for a point guard, I was looking for somebody with high major experience. The point guard is a critical position. Obviously, I don't need to go into depth on that, but you got to make sure you don't get a lemon. So you want to make sure that you check under the hood, you check the oil, check the transmission, you rotate the tires, all that sort of stuff. So I felt like we needed to go with a known commodity, somebody that we knew had a really good idea what we were going to get. And when, we didn't start recruiting him till about 2.5 weeks after he went in the portal. And, once we saw the numbers and got the numbers back on him and kind of circled back, it was obvious that he was, he had experience in the SEC. He'd been a point guard on an NCAA tournament team. He had won at a high level at Missouri. It was just obvious that he was a good fit for what we were looking for, and we were a good fit for what for what he was looking for. But I think we wanted somebody that had done it at the high major level. There's you can get kids that do it at a different level and then move up and still play really, really well, but I just think that's a lot more of a riskier proposition, and we weren't. If you look at all of our transfers, Missouri, Illinois, and Cincinnati, we basically got them all three from high major programs. They all put up good numbers at another high major program in another big time league, and so that was kind of the formula we stuck with all of them. But X checked every box, and then when you talk to him and you realize what a basketball junkie he is, how much he loves basketball, how much time he spends on his game and working on his game. It was obvious it was a very, very good fit for both parties. All right. Thanks.